Welcome back once again to the Best of Westchester event here at Glen Island Harbor, the Glen Island Harbor Club. This is Westchester Talk Radio. I'm Bob Marone along with Michael Blakey. And we're produced this evening by Shaw Creative and made possible by the White Plains Hospital, Robeson Oil, Tompkins Mayo Peck Bank, Libolis Electric, Michael Labriola Incorporated, and Hightower Westchester. And this is an event every year that is run by Westchester Magazine, and an extraordinary event it is. And we get not only to meet new businesses, but what's nice for us at Westchester Talk Radio is we get to talk and meet with old friends. And here's an old friend whose job has changed, but not his business. His name is Daniel Cooke, and he is the man responsible for decommissioning. He's the decommissioning safety manager at the Indian Point Energy Center. He used to work there, but now he's with a company called Comprehensive Decommissioning International. And for those of you who aren't familiar with nuclear power and the way decommissioning works, it is a business unto itself. It takes several years, and we are so happy to say hello to an old friend once again. Daniel Cooke, how are you?
Great. Hey, and seriously, like you say, it's good to see an old friend, familiar face. It's just great to be out on a night like this. How long has it been since I've been outside with people? So it just came at the right time. It's good. This is a great event every year, and I'm glad to be a part of it again this year.
Yeah, and isn't it nice to be out with people again and see people again and converse with people?
The weather's perfect. The people are nice. The vendors, everything is just a great time. And again, it was a long time coming. That COVID was too much. So.
Well, as you know, we've worked with you in your former role and now again for several years. And what you do is actually very interesting. A lot of people don't realize that to close a nuclear power plant, you just don't close the doors, throw out the fuel, and move on and knock the building down. It is a business and a process unto itself. Tell us about it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I worked for Entergy for over 20 years. Very proud of them. They did a great job running the company. We set a world record our last year of running at Unit 3, a world record for production, continuous online production of electricity. So real proud to say that. But then that time has come to a close. Entergy moved back down south where more of the core business is, but they sold the Indian Point plant to a company called Holtec, a subsidiary of CDI, who I am proud to work for. And like you say, you just don't shut the lights off and go home. You have to be very methodical in how you take the place apart. We have a lot of nuclear fuel that has to be stored properly on the pad. We also have just the buildings and the structures that have to be taken down carefully and methodically. We expect to take maybe 12 years or more before it's all done.
So it's a business unto itself, and it will be hiring people and working with people right here in Westchester.
Exactly. Sure. We're staying a union company. We're hiring union craftsmen to do all the work. We kept a lot of people that were there originally. About 300 people were retained from Entergy. And again, Entergy was real nice. They offered work down south at their plants down there for all the people. They really took care of their people, and I first started coming to this event through the auspices of Entergy, so I can't say enough good about them. But again, now here we are with CDI, Comprehensive Decommissioning International.
Well, I'm sure that the culture will be as it was. I need to say this. This is editorial, but I don't mind saying it. The most impressed I have ever been going to a work site was a 6-hour special I did. About Entergy.
Exactly.
I left there. I will never really recover from how impressed I was and how it enabled me in the years that followed to explain how the plant operated and the safety, which is your thing.
Yeah, no.
It was just so impressive. And it was almost a family business in that the people knew each other. It was a good place to work.
No, you're right.
Am I off the money here?
No, you're spot on. You're right. We had to run it safely. We had to do everything, abide by the rules. The NRC has rules. We had our own company policies we had to follow. And you can't take lightly nuclear power. And we didn't. We stayed focused on it throughout the run. Again, like I said, we created a record run for that plant the last year of operation, last 2 years of operation. So, now, unfortunately, that's gone. We got to take it apart. But like you say, security and safety stay number one in our priorities.
We've got them now. What is it like to close down a plant? I realize we don't have a lot of time, but give us the thumbnail. What comes first? What are the most difficult things to do? What's interesting about it?
Well, the big thing is fuel. We have to build another pad for the repository for all the spent fuel that we have to take out. So that's our priority right now. We're going to build a new pad, put the additional canisters on. That's our priority, to safely get everything out of the spent fuel pool and store it in casks. Once the fuel's out of the building, it takes a lot of pressure off, but we still have contamination to worry about throughout the building. So we have to be very methodical in how we disassemble that. We have to disassemble the reactor. Each of those 3 buildings has a reactor inside of it. And again, you just don't pick that up and throw it in the trash. You gotta piece it out little by little. And to be honest with you, when this was built, asbestos was a miracle mineral back then. So we have a lot of asbestos to contend with as well. So it's just a lot of stuff that we're aware of, and we're going to handle it properly and make sure it's done safely and correctly.
Has this work begun yet, or is the plant still in the phase of shutting down?
Yeah, no, we're all offline. We've been offline since April, I believe it was. And no, we're moving forward now. We've built a new retention pond for collecting water, so the old pond we can make into our storage pad for our second pad. We've got contractors in giving us bids on how to disassemble the reactor. No, we're moving forward. But again, it's not something that's done overnight. We want to do it safely and methodically.
A question from my nerdy side. Do you still need to keep the control room staffed? Because you have, I know the rods are withdrawn, but you still have nuclear fuel there.
Right, we do, but it's minimal staffing.
Right.
All the rods are out of the reactor and in the spent fuel pool buildings.
I see.
So not as much concern, but you still want to make sure they stay cooled and you get them monitored. So at all times, someone is in that control room at all times, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Again, I'm never going to get over, right down to what the most interesting thing is, I wore this hard hat while I was doing the tour and doing my recordings. And when we went into the control room, they made me take it off. And I said, why is that? Because it could fall on a button.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I just know, but it's brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
And I did get to scramble it. Of course, this was in the training room. I got to, and because people, what if something goes wrong? I said, an idiot like me was able to press it. If I missed the big red button, I would have to go back to grammar school. And just everything. I even get goosebumps thinking about it, how misunderstood sometimes nuclear power.
Yeah, but like you say, if you get somebody in, let them tour the plant, see the control room, see the amount of security we have there, you'd win people over every time.
Every time. I actually looked right over into the pool.
Oh yeah,
Put my head right over the glass and the blue glow. And from the moment you pulled up, and then you were escorted to the other building, and they did the double background check. One at the gate, another one before you went through the turns. And I will never forget it. But now, so how many people are going to be involved in this? And it's a 12-year gig.
Right. By law, they could take up to 60 years to take it apart. But Holtec, CDI, they want to get in right away and get it done and get it returned to green, maybe repurpose it for another usage. So we're looking at about 12, 13 years. And right now we have a staff of about 300 people. We'll bring in some outside consultants that specialize in certain things, such as the disassembly of the reactor or the cutting down of the containment building, what have you. So the specialty things will go out. But to the company's credit, to Entergy and the agreement with CDI, they want to make sure that we do as much work as we can and keep as many local people employed as we can. So kudos to them.
I've always been impressed. And every radio station I've worked at, and there were about 4 now, they all were supported in the community way. I've always felt that they were helping us even more than we were doing for them. They supported every radio station I've ever worked for here in Westchester, and were always friendly and community-centric. I have to tell you that. Now, Daniel Cooke, again, when my inner nerd's coming out, I think I asked you this when you were with Energy. What in your background got you into this business? I'm intrigued.
Yeah, no, it was just a happenstance. I met a guy working construction, and a couple of years later he says, hey, get your resume in the mail. I got a job for you at the nuclear power plant. I'm like, I don't have a resume. I'm an electrician. I put up conduits, I pull cable, and I go home. He got me the job in 1984, and I never looked back. For 15 years, I traveled the country from Maine to California working at nuclear power plants. But when I got to Indian Point, and I saw how safe it was run, how well it was managed, I said I'd like to call this home, and I was able to be afforded a permanent job.
And of course, his home now has the responsibility for closing down the plant. The company's called CDI, or Comprehensive Decommissioning International. Holtec, SNC, Holtec bought the plant. Lavalin Company. Daniel Cooke has been our guest, decommissioning safety manager at the Indian Point Energy Center, such as it is today. It is always a pleasure to see you. You know me; I can go on and on. I have an inner nerd that finds this stuff so interesting. You know what? I even have to say this. I remember how the walls were designed so that the radiation it only travels in a straight line. So the walls were askew. And even the bulletproof shields that came out were designed so that somebody couldn't shoot straight. I can go on and on, but I'm done.
That's great. No, it's great seeing you. It brings back a lot of good memories about the old days. But we're going to be here for quite a while, and hopefully we'll see you in the future.
Well, and from now on, that's what we'll be talking about as we do these events. How the close down is, how the decommissioning is coming, and how you are as a business. Again, Daniel Cooke, thank you so very, very much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you very much.
The pleasure's ours. Well, folks, I know I nerded out a little bit. I just couldn't help it. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have more live at the Best of Westchester here at the Glen Island Harbor Club.